It's in fact a very good morning from our studios here on the MDI Road. We're broadcasting live for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. This is the AM show, of course, your favorite current affairs show that sets your day in motion, bringing you the best of current affairs, entertainment, sports, and of course some exciting interviews with the people who matter. My name is Fatu Lee Komiloshi, and as usual, my co-host this morning is the beautiful Khadija Boko. Good morning, Khadi.
Good morning, Moloshi, and good morning to our beautiful viewers out there. I'm doing fine, quite okay. And you?
I'm awesome. Let's take a look at what's coming up on the program this morning.
Yes, coming up in the program, boosting gender security across the country. Committee members of Gender Security Sector Reform completes a regional caravan tour on gender security awareness, and we will host a discussion on that with the committee members of gender security.
Now in sports, Gambia under 20 men's team return in a triumphant welcoming after winning the WAFU under 20 championship in Senegal. We'll discuss issues relating to that and the plans for the new GFF league season with the competition manager.
We will digest that with this video by Oh Boy called Mansaya. First, let's look at it. Let's take a look.
Just continue.
Okay.
Right. Welcome back to the show. Unfortunately, we're yet to, we're sorting out that video by Oh Boy. I think something is wrong there down at the technical part. But meanwhile, we have Khadija's favorite segment,
The breakfast show. So let's see what they have for us on today's menu. I hope it's quite delicious though, even though we can't have it. But let's take a look and see.
Welcome to the breakfast segment. Milton, coming to you on GRTS. I am yourself, Chef Osman Mane. I'll be doing for you today an omelette stir fry. Sounds weird, but you'll fall in love with it once it is ready. Now I have my ingredients are here: eggs, tomato, chili. Of course, I like chili, so whenever I'm cooking, I add chili into my cooking. This is sweet pepper, spring onion, and of course, I will need an onion. I will cut the onion into tagliatelle kind of shape, and then I will stir fry it with the vegetables. But I need to make billions of vegetables, so that's what exactly I'm going to do.
Now I have defeat them. They switch off the light, thinking I'ma fall apart. Well, now be clean, follow the ways of the prophet. I stand with my flute at the middle of the market. See no one and blow up my drum.
And of course, I will need some tomatoes. I prefer to use the cherry tomato for color because they have a vibrant red color, so I prefer to use that one.
And if these people can't handle the way I do me, I won't have to.
Now the vegetables are ready. Now what I'm going to do is to break the egg into this. I'm going to make an omelette out of the egg. A flat omelette. Make sure your omelette is as flat as possible because you're going to cut it into.
Doubting, they say my sounds are weak and so boring. Well, yeah, still is the countrywide anthem.
Here is your eggs ready, 3 pieces of egg. Now I'm adding salt and pepper. Just salt and pepper. That's all you need. You're not adding any other thing because all the vegetables are coming in crispy.
Just like a train, I keep on dropping it now.
I'm adding oil on the pan. Just a tablespoon of oil should suffice.
I don't care what is heat.
I'll pour the mixture into the pan and make sure you spread it as evenly as possible. Slice it. Yes, it is cooked perfect as I would like it. Now what I'm going to do is put it on the chopping board. That's your omelette. Look how beautiful it is. Now I'm going to add margarine onto my pan, just enough to do the magic. Now what you're going to do is fold this like that and then slice it into like juliennes or tagliatelle shape. It's really long. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is to throw in the onions into the frying pan. I'm going to add some chilies because I love my food hot. But chili is preferred. If you don't want it, please don't add it into your cooking. I like it very hot, so for me I don't mind. In fact, when I'm cooking for people, I don't add chili because I don't know when it is enough for them. So I'll prefer to give them a chili sauce, let them make it for themselves. Okay? Now, I guess at this point the onions are soft enough, so I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. Mind you, you can add any other ingredients that you can saute. If you have mushroom, you can add it onto it. Goes well with it. At this point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some salt and pepper onto this. This is milk in them, so it should be ready within 10 minutes. Now, at this point, I'm going to throw in the omelette that we did before. Oh, this is I'm going to add my cherry tomatoes and I'm putting a little bit of liquid, just a little bit, so the seasoning will soak up into the omelette and it is ready. Look how fast it is. I'm going to present this. It is omelette, we can all do it at home, just that it is a different twist of the usual omelette that we know. But believe me, you can do it at home. So simple and fast. And it's
I don't wanna play, but you take my heart to run away, yeah. Oh, Jaja, Jaja moyo Jaja, chipata gaja Jaja song, I'm contana baby together. Oh, Jaja, Jaja moyo Jaja, chipata gaja.
yes, sir. Thank you. You actually can serve it with senfour, but again, I know most Gambian like tapalapa, especially the trames that I know, because it is more filling. Here you go, meal santen ready within 10 minutes. That's your meal.
All right, welcome back again. In fact, that food looks really nice, yummy, and very attractive. I hope you saw that.
Someone is trying to mock me, but I won't mind her anyway because she knows it's my favorite segment of the show, and I can't have what the chefs are preparing, so obviously I'll be here, you know, my mouth is watering and, oh, I'm sad.
You're craving for it. I think
I'm
for me, what it does is that as soon as I finish here, I have to make sure and get my breakfast because now I've been enticed.
And she's always stealing my corned beef.
Yes.
You know, and when
you know, she's a boss lady, so she buys the canned beef and all the eggs. So I have to take part of the canned beef, add them to my eggs. Yeah, I am a family lady. I have family. This guy has nothing, only herself.
Seriously?
So she has to divide, you know, all of those between us.
You know how Sarahule families are, like quite large and big. But anyways, I won't mind.
All right, let's skip that for another day.
Moving on, effective security sector reform calls for inclusion and the protection of collective rights, which include gender security, highlighting efforts to empower and enhance women's rights. Members of Gender Security Sector Reform Committee embarked on a caravan within the Lower River region and the North Bank region to create awareness on gender security in the reform process. The advocacy caravan funded by UNDP which aims to support the reform process and create more understanding on gender security and women's rights. For more on the tour, we are joined live in the studio by Umar Sonko, the PRO of the committee. Good morning, Umar, and welcome to the program. Thanks for coming. Now, when we talk about Gender Security Sector Reform Committee, let me say, what do we mean about this? Like, what do we talk about this when we say gender security?
Okay, when we said gender security sector reform, it's like it started with the broader aspect or the term of it, which is the security sector reform. So the security sector reform started as there was an assessment through institutions. Through this assessment, there were some recommendations as how to incorporate gender in the sector reform. So after the assessment, because there were many components, because when you talk of security sector reform, that's SSR, you have security sector reform and governance, you know, you have the economic, the political part of it. So, but one component that we focus on is the gender security sector reform, because after the assessment, there were recommendations, and this recommendation shows that the gender security sector reform needs to be mainstream in the institutions and department, because it's very important. And we all know the opposite sex, that's the female, they are not much considered when it comes to employment, you know, promotions and other stuff. So that's why, you know, we look into these issues very seriously. Yeah.
Well, I was going to come to that. That is to ask where the idea of this tour spring from, you know, but you mentioned few, but I guess you can give us a clear picture of that. There must be a reason behind this.
Yeah, the only reason behind it, you know, after any assessment, there must be a report and there must be a recommendation. It's after the assessment, when the report came out, we need to put emphasis and more promote women to take part in the national development and take up leadership position, especially in the time of making decisions. They are very key. So I think everything emanated from that aspect and that angle. Yeah.
So, I mean, why do people see the need for such a caravan? During the process, what do you do?
Okay, the caravan came about when we completed the training, because the training was sometimes in 2018, when people are nominated from their various institutions to take part in the training, which was conducted by ONS, that's the Office of the National Security Advisor. So the training was in 3 phases. We have the basic, intermediate, and advanced. Then it was during this training, we, the participants, discussed among ourselves and said, okay, this is what is happening. NGOs, you know, international bodies and other organizations are sponsoring the Gambia on gender SSR or SSR process. So we also said we need to do something as citizens. We need to do something as Gambians. So we sat among ourselves, discussed, we form a committee. So this committee is like people are selected from all the institutions to represent the general body, that after the training, we need to go and reach to people or talk to people who were not opportune to attend the training. So to talk to them and at least disseminate the information or the information that we have from the training and the experience, so that we can go and it's kind of like outreach to also inform them of what we have trained. So that was the main purpose of the thing. So when we proposed, the government buy the idea, then UND step in to sponsor the caravan. So that's
so you have the backing and support.
Yeah, backing and support. So, but the thing is, like, we all know of this pandemic. You know, the gender caravan tour should have taken place long ago, but due to this corona thing, which is affecting every business in this country, so it could not hold. So we decided to have it now.
So now let's talk about your engagements. How was it like during the 2-day with the security personnel and members of the community?
Yeah, to be frank enough, it was very, very fruitful because it's like it is well organized.
Okay.
Yes, it was well organized, and we really appreciate the turnout of people. You know, people have shown interest, and and the most important thing is they came out in large numbers to embrace the occasion, and so forth. So
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
That's good.
All right, quite interesting. Now let's talk about the realities. What were the realities that were found on the ground in terms of gender security?
The reality is like, before we go to that area, I think I must emphasize this first. It was through after the assessment, it's like the opposite sex, I will still emphasize the female, because even if you look at the UN, they are claiming of 30% representative.
Yeah.
Is that actually happening in the institution, or let's say in the parliament? Because decisions, women are very key in decision making. So the realities on the ground is that when we started the tour, because the target was the security institutions and the civil society. Yeah, but the initial proposal was the larger committee will move to go on the tour, but due to some one or two things we could not make it, so few were selected to go for the tour. So, but the reality here is like, still we need to do more to engage women and to involve them in our decision making. We engage them to take position, especially leadership positions. So these are things that are lacking in our institutions and in our departments. It is really, really lacking, and we need to do something. And one thing I normally also say to women is like, in as much as they want to empower them, let us also take the responsibility and the acceptance and the willingness to do the work. Because if people are helping you, I know you also have that, you should have that zeal to also take up the responsibility.
So are you saying that in this process you're not seeing much commitment coming from the women themselves?
Yeah, there are commitments, but like sometimes you need to force them to talk. That's the reality.
The family setting.
That's the culture. That's the culture. Yeah, the culture.
Growth,
yeah, because sometimes you will feel that these people want to talk. They want to talk. But if they look around them, maybe the society or the people, we all know the society, men around them. So this is the problem. So I think one most important thing that we should do is like, we should break the culture of silence.
Yeah.
That's very, very important. Let us come out and speak. Let us come out and talk our mind. We should be free. We should have that conducive environment to talk freely and express our feeling and how we're feeling.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Sure. Women should not feel intimidated by men or because you saw, let me say, a little space that is not wide for you. You feel like, oh, I cannot speak here, or when I speak, I won't be heard. So that is the mentality that we need to get rid of. As soon as we get rid of that, I believe so many women will come on board and, take up this challenge. So basically, after this engagement, I mean the caravan tour, do you consider your mission accomplished?
Yeah, not actually, because what happened now, the caravan should have been a nationwide tour. But due to one or two things that I mentioned earlier, like the coronavirus thing and some constraints along the line, I know we could not reach out to all areas. We went to LRL and North Bank region. So, but the intention was to go nationwide. At least everybody will be seen and everybody will be heard.
Okay.
So that was the intention. So I will not say the mission is accomplished, but I think the greater part of it, is achieved, because one most important thing is to involve media, which I think we did, so that if we are not seen physically, but at least that media transmission will be there for people to be seen and heard, or what we will hear what we are saying.
It's key. So let's talk about your next moves in this endeavor as the Committee on Gender Security Sector Reform. What do we expect next after this?
Yeah, what we're expecting next is like, we just completed the tour. I think we also have our recommendations during the course of the tour that we did. I don't just want to preempt, because I'm the PRO, the chairperson is not here, and we have to go back to the board, the drawing board, and see what next to do. But I know there are more comments, because this is a committee that is not set for a short-term thing. We're looking for the future. If you have the fund or if you have a support, it will be like if not an institution but a unit that will continue, because we all know that security sector reform, these are things that is not visible.
It's a process.
It's a process. It's not isn't visible for, let's say, 2-3 years as people are expecting. Because we're looking for the the future extent part of it that will at least accommodate whatever we want to achieve within these 5 or coming 10 years. Right. So it's a process. So it's not an easy task.
We will get there.
We will surely get there.
Yeah.
But just to wrap it up, Omar, of course, what would be your last message, especially in regards to this endeavor?
Yeah, my last message, just as I said, I'm a gender activist. I always talk to my sisters, my aunties, my mothers, let us take the responsibility. Let us take the responsibility.
Take up space.
Yes, and we have to, let us break the silence. The silence is what is killing us most. Let us talk, because if I will only help you if I know your problem. So, but if you are with that stigma, you keep it in you. I cannot just come and take it out from you. Less people talk, especially female. And I'm also advising my brothers, my fathers, and my uncles, let us also give that space to the women so that they can take part in whatever we are doing. Because, I believe gender is an ascribed rule defined by society.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I believe.
Yeah.
Because there is no woman in this world who is born with a broom or a cooking pot to go and cook for a man, and there is no man who is born in this world with a fire with a cutlass to go and fetch firewood for a woman. Yeah. So these are ascribed rules. And if you travel around the world, or if you go out, you will do things that you are not doing in your native country, which means it's a ascribed rule by a society. So that's the reality. Let us also take this responsibility and break the culture of silence and maslaha. Maslaha, as I would say, it is very, very, it is killing our institutions and, in fact, our humanity on daily basis. This is very, very important that we need to do.
Well, and, I don't want to get started. But
so, sorry, 1 minute.
Men need to listen.
1 minute. I cannot end this show without thanking our host in the provinces, especially the governor of LRA, the deputy governor, and the army commander at Pakaliba, the camp commander, and CEO of Farafenye Barras. These people did well, and I think they need applause. So I'm telling them a very good, big thank you.
Very well.
And ONS, that's the Office of the National Security. You are also thanking them, plus UNDP. So we are telling them a big thank you for their support and commitment towards this gender caravan tour.
Thank you so much, Omar. With that, well, if we have to talk about gender here, I guess we'll spend the whole day discussing this issue because there are so many issues surrounding gender in terms of that in this country. But we will take a short break and join Sainabu Jain with Coffee With.
So we're at the final question, which is my favorite question. And this is where you give your words of wisdom to young people out there.
Okay. Yeah, what I want to put through to my fellow youths is, you know, we usually hear, you know, grown up saying, we are the future. So that we are the future, it's not bad, but the future is now. Like they always say, the future is now, because we know what we went through, you know, from the last regime. You know, the development stage and the development space was so narrowed down that, you know, people needed the opportunity to spread their wings, you know, and be whatever they wish to be. So with this new transition, I think things are a bit more open now to venture into whatever you wish to venture. I'll just take a quote from Socrates, a quote that I hold very dear to me. He says, the only true knowledge is knowing that you know nothing. The only true knowledge is knowing that you know nothing. So that's a quote that is really deep and carries a very weighty statement.
Okay.
Yeah, because metaphorically, you know, it means that as a youth, you always should aspire to learn more, to venture into more things, to explore more.
That's true.
You know, because the sky is the limit. The only problem is when you feel that you know everything, or you feel that everything isn't provided for you on the table. You know, we shouldn't aspire to be dependents. You know.
Of course.
I think as a youth, whatever the case is, whatever the situation might be, one must always aspire to, you know, to make the best use of themselves, you know, in whatever capacity it might be. You know, if you see our fuller friends here, sometimes they come in the country with bitter colors. You know, you will see them with their plates, with the bitter colors and stuff. So those are the same people that later on, give them 10 years or 15 years, you will start seeing them in big cars and, you know, you know, with their big magazines and, you know, occupying big enterprises in front of us here. So the only difference is, it's not that you know, they do voodoo. They have self-belief because they came to the country knowing that they have no one to believe but themselves. So with that mentality and that ideology, they were able to be whatever they wanted to be. So us being here as well, it will be hard, but we should also make sure we, you know, carry that mentality as well. You know, carry that mentality whereby, you know, nothing comes for free. You have to work for anything that you want. In order to be whatever you want to be, you have to, you know, work hard for it. You know, so if you have that mentality, I think you can be anything you wish to be or you aspire to be. Yeah, if you take notice of Gambians who are abroad, someone who was so lazy here will be having 2-3 jobs up there, and they'll be able to maneuver over things somehow. So which means that you know, it's the situation itself, you know. So that kind of mentality, if we try and incorporate it here in our country, I think you know, we won't always rely on the government or the, you know, or the people up there to solve our own problems. We'll be able to, if not solve all our problems, at least solve some of our problems.
For sure.
So that's the word I'm giving to all my fellow youths, to do whatever we can to be the best person we can be, and to also know that when we talk about success in life, it's not always financial or monetary. You know, because you have a social aspect, you have a moral responsibilities, you know. You know, you have a spiritual obligation, responsibilities, and, you know, so all those things, you incorporate them, and that's what makes your life, you know, that's what gives you your life value in a certain capacity. So I think one problem we face too as youths is that we worry too much about the idea of success, because we normally base it on what we see on TV, or the big cars or the large homes that we see people set down, and we don't even know what or what route they took to be where to get there. So I think we should also try to free our minds of all those things, to just enjoy life and just work hard, you know, and just have a focus, have a target that this is what I want, this is what I want to do, this is the person I want to be, and the rest, you know, is up to God at the end of the day.
Indeed.
So that's the word of advice I want to give to all beings. So.
Thank you, Abdullah Njai. Thank you very much. That was, I believe, a very important and educative interview. You know, he said a lot about what he does and the social positions that he holds, and one in particular that has meant something to him because it resonates with the kind of person he is. So for young people out there, if that's you and that's how you feel, then just know you can be like Abdullah Njai and even be better than him. For his words of wisdom as well, he said, you know, nothing comes for free, and you know, we should always try to be the best of ourselves than we think we can be, and that way we can achieve our dreams. And you can always relay back to what he said, but these are the things that, you know, stood out for me. Nothing is free, work hard. He gave examples, so if you can relate to those examples, then that's also great. And just always follow your dreams. Yeah, so that's all I had for you in this episode of Coffee with.
Hey, I am Sister Yai.
Hi, this is X-Mile.
Hi, this is Sex.
Hello, I'm Ronald.
Hi, I am Anna Mane, a fashion designer.
I am Danny Constant.
And I'm Fanta Jamba Sise.
AM show, I'm watching each and every AM. So every Gambian and every person watch the AM show each and every day. Hey, Chahan Kuwandati Jinkabitol Faledak. If I got Tamako Mansaki, Inyal Ben Kanchak, Koleko Simbe Duma Sabe Duma for Semutaletap, Konye General Webokadi Amulimo Yefimak, Victory Tapaditap, no fit songs Demagot Pop, Dan Salmano got chop, if I know Willy Bones we had up, skunk the AM show. Afoba, mad.
The weather-related disaster in the southern hemisphere. We examine the powerful storm causing a massive humanitarian crisis in three All right, welcome back to the AM show there, and now we'll head on to another segment, which is of course our French segment, and we have our French correspondent here, Cheikh Diouf, to take us through. Cheikh, bonjour, bienvenue à la plateau.
Bonjour et merci Moulissi et Kadiatou Bokoum. Eh bien, commençons, c'est un plaisir de vous retrouver ici sur votre télévision nationale GRTS. Commençons d'abord avec les informations par le communiqué de la présidente informant le public que son Excellence Adama Barrow, la présidente de la République de Gambie, se rendra en République fédérale du Nigeria en visite officielle. Le président quittera l'aéroport international de Banjul aujourd'hui, jeudi 3 décembre à 9h. Continuons à présent, l'exécutif du gouvernement s'est réuni hier pour la 9e réunion du cabinet où ils ont discuté en profondeur et adopté des documents importants, y compris le document sur la réforme des agents subvertis de la Gambie, une initiative visant à rationaliser le financement public d'édites agences. Continuons avec aux questions législatives les séances de la 4e session ordinaire de l'Assemblée nationale de l'année législative se sont poursuivies hier mercredi dans les chambres de l'Assemblée nationale à Banjul. Trois ministres du cabinet donc présents devant les députés pour répondre à des questions liées à les différents ministères. Terminons avec le programme d'entrepreneuriat des finances africains, le chapitre de la Gambie, avec le soutien du département des États-Unis, célèbre 10 ans d'existence sur les thèmes tirés parti des opportunités mondiales pour les femmes dans les affaires, petites et moyennes entreprises en Afrique et dans la diaspora. C'est ce que nous avons pour vous ce matin et merci d'avoir été à l'écoute. Merci à l'antenne à Moulichi.
Donc, merci beaucoup, cher. À la semaine prochaine.
Merci.
Well, that was Cher Diouf there, our French correspondent, taking us through some of the major events that happened during the week, of course, in French. But now we'll shift to another thing because we have the newspaper here, which is, of course, the Standard. Kelly?
We have here the Standard newspaper with me, and on the front of the Standard newspaper it says, Barrow not copying Jammeh, and also Supreme Court to hear Yakuba's immunity case tomorrow, and APRC diaspora backrolls preparations for 2021, and also court asks states to speed process in diplomatic passport cases, and 2 more cars stolen as vehicle theft surges. Well, now still on the Standard newspaper, it's saying a former spokesperson of APRC and now a strong supporter of President Barrow has described as baffling claims that the president is copying from Jammeh's bad governance style book. In recent months, critics have often accused President Barrow of adopting Yahya Jammeh's politics of inducement, patronage, and other discredited styles of the former dictator in his bid to keep power. But in a Standard exclusive, Sidin Jai said, "It always baffles me when I hear critics of President Barrow accusing him of being a dictator." He further said he is not one. "I think we need political hygiene in this country. We need very genuine oppositions and critics who criticize based on facts and provide solutions that will change the status quo."
Also, still on the Standard, we have some stories here, and it says, eco camps could offer escape from social media banter, says Hamad, of course, the tourism minister. And it says, eco-tourism camps could offer escape from social media banter and the raucous urban life, according to tourism minister Hamad Ba. Describing Sindola camp in Kanilai as a home away from home, Apka Scrib Lodge in Kasan, as in Foni, as atmospheric and ideal for a family getaway. Makasutu Cultural Forest in Kembuje as suitable for a weekend escape, and Tumani Tenda Camp as a location of beautiful scenery. Tourism Minister Hamad Ba has indicated government's determination in creating the necessary conditions to encourage Gambians to go on tourism expeditions in their own country. And reading on, GTHI losing chefs in rural Gambia despite high pay. And it says the Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute, GTHI, is struggling to retain trained chefs and other hospitality staff in the countryside despite the relatively high pay and better working conditions. The GTHI has last year rolled out an ambitious expansion project in various regions of the country, but the institute is beset with the twin problems of rural-urban drift and trained females going into matrimonial homes.
And now here, still on the Standard newspaper, is saying Supreme Court to hear Yakuba's immunity case tomorrow. That is the Supreme Court of the Gambia, presided over by the Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallo, yesterday adjourned the constitutional immunity case involving the state and Yakuba Toure to Friday, 4th December for hearing. The Chief Justice made this announcement after the court acknowledged receipt of all the processes filed in the case by the parties. Yakuba Toure is challenging his prosecution by the state for the alleged murder of his colleague Usman Koro Sise, then finance minister in the AFPRC government in June 1995. And also now still on APRC diaspora back rolls preparations for 2021. APRC supporters in the diaspora recently mobilized some $236,000 as part of its preparations for the upcoming presidential election that is next year. Our Sanyang, which is the president of Kafo. Oh yeah, that's a Mandinka word anyway. My Mandinka is not good anyway. Kafoti Kafo, and if I said that properly, a diaspora organization based in Finland, said the donation is meant to support the members that cannot afford to pay the fees to acquire national identification cards. She further said that the monies were sent in allocations, that is $75,000 and $58,000 were sent recently on different occasions to support the less privileged supporters to have national documents.
Interesting headlines there on the Standard newspaper. In fact, a businessman defense claim against Gutch is another story here. But if you want to read more of these, just grab a copy of the Standard and delve into it. We'll go with a short break, and when we come back, we take a look at some sports. Do stay.
Hey, I am Sister Yai.
Hi, this is X-Mild.
Hi, this is Sex.
Hello, I'm Ronald.
Hi, I am Anna Mane, a fashion designer.
I am Danny Constant.
And I'm Fanta Jamba Sise.
AM show, I'm watching each and every AM. So every Gambian and every person watch the AM show each and every day. Hey, Chahan kuwanda tijeng kabitol fale dak. Ifele katamo komansa ki inyal ben kanchak kole ko simbe duma sabe duma fonse mutaletap konye general webo kadi amulimo ye fimak victory top of the top no fit songs them go top dan salman go chop if I no Willie Bones we add up skank direct AM show afoba mad.
The weather related in the southern hemisphere. We examine the powerful storm causing a massive humanitarian crisis in Now, welcome back to the AM show, and let's take a look at some sports because the Gambia national under-20 team has returned from Senegal after a successful campaign that saw the Baby Scorpions scooped the honor against the host nation, Senegal, in the final. Now, but that side preparations are ongoing for the commencement of the 2021 GFF Domestic League season. Initial proposed date was December 1st, but it looks like there has been some changes. For more on that, we're joined in the studio here. Unfortunately, we could not have the competitions manager at the Gambia Football Federation, Mojang. But our sports correspondent and commentator, Farmer Badge himself, is here to take us briefly about this win and what it means for us as a country. Farmer, it's good to have you back once again.
Well, yes, I'm glad that I'm here, but unfortunately we could not have Jan, for an in-depth discussion, about the success of under-20, about the plans and the preparations ongoing ahead of the new GFF League season. But nevertheless, I can do my part.
We can always improvise.
Yeah.
Now then, we'll talk about the Champions League.
No, let's talk about the national football. Yes, I think she follows the Champions League more than our football.
No, I do follow.
Okay, good for you. I'm interested. Let's talk about how this success, Farmer, defines the development of Gambian football in general.
Yes, it shows that everything is on the right track. When you have success at youth level, it shows the structure of your football, the trajectory is is on the right track, is going well. So it's just a matter of knowing what to do after that. This clearly shows that there is a lot of young talented players in the country who could be helped, who could be nurtured. By the time they get to that top level, if they can have wins against the under-20s of Senegal, by the time they will get to that top level, it will be the same players of Senegal going to their senior team. So if you start beating them here, if you are the more superior than them at this stage, if you are able to put your house in orders, definitely you should be ahead of them even when you get to that top level. So this clearly shows that there are a whole lot of talented players in the country. It's just a matter of developing them, putting the right structures in place to ensure that you have all what you've been yearning for at top level. So this clearly shows that the football in the country is definitely on the right track.
Interesting. Winning the title against Senegal inside Senegal, Farmer, will definitely be a lasting memory. Would you say so? Definitely.
This will be something that will stay with the players for the rest of their life, for the rest of their career as football players. It will stay with the nation. Going out in Senegal, playing against the sub-regional teams, scooping the honor, a small country of less than 2 million people. Having it against players or having it against nations who has all the necessary structures in place, the infrastructural development, you can't be in the same level with them, definitely. So having to win a trophy inside Senegal, against Senegal in the final is an everlasting memory.
Do you think Senegalese were ready for this?
They were not.
They were ready.
Were they ready for this win that the Gambia had?
They were a bit complacent, I will say, having that 5-1 win, having that 5-1 win against the Gambia in the opening game. They were like, Gambia, but then the Scorpions credit has to be given to them, especially the technical team, for preparing the team psychologically, because losing to a team by 5-1, definitely it will have a bit of psychological impact on the players. They are young. So the technical team have to be commended for motivating the teams, helping them to let go of the past and open a new chapter, record a victory, which, WAFU is not a big tournament. It's not a big competition, but what makes it big, it came against Senegal. That is the close neighbors. That is why there is a bit of noise around it. There's all this noise around this, triumph.
Well, and the support too they have been getting from Gambians, I think that is also a contributing factor to this.
Yeah, great.
And also looking at the youth level when it comes to football, they're really trying, looking at the 2005 under-17 team that won in Algeria. All of this is a contributing factor. So I'm really happy that our under-17, or let me say the youth football, it's going further, and now people are so proud of them. So that is quite interesting. But now, Famara, let's go to the Champions League, please. Let's talk about this. Tell us about it. Not because Chelsea is, you know, all of that, but I guess when now we have Bojang next here, let me say Jain, he will tell us more about that. Now, give us an update about what is happening.
Well, there has been some, I mean, astonishing score lines. I mean, during the midweek in the Champions League, Wednesday and Thursday, some of the teams have known their fate. Some of the teams have their campaign pushed down to the wire. I mean, their chances are hanging on the balance. They have to wait until the last minute, the last day, before they can know their fate. I mean, there has been some, should I say, astonishing results. I mean, on Wednesday, I mean, the Real Madrid, of all people, the most successful club as far as the Champions League football is concerned, I mean, they lost to Shakhtar Donetsk by 2-0, which pushed them, I mean, further down, I mean, in their group to third place. They have to win in their last match against Mönchengladbach before they can progress to the round of 16 of the Champions League. I mean, yesterday as well, teams like City are already through, Chelsea as well. They, yeah, Chelsea as well recorded a 4-0 win against Sevilla, and Manchester United were beaten at home against PSG, which means they also have to wait until the last game to know their fate. They have to travel to Germany to take on Leipzig, and Paris Saint-Germain will have to play, I mean, their last game against the bottom of the group, their group. So some of the groups are still very much open. Like the group of Manchester United, where all the three teams, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United, and RB Leipzig, all have their destiny in their own hands. The same could be said about the group of Real Madrid as well. Mönchengladbach is there, Shakhtar Donetsk, Real Madrid as well. They all have to wait until their last game to know their fate. Inter as well is still in contention. If they can win and hope for the other results to go their way, they will still progress. So we're going to see a very tough contest in the final games.
Interesting. I mean, interesting things happening there at the international realm. But just to wrap it up, Famara, let's just go a little bit back to the under-17 and, of course, where we're headed after, you know, this win now. What's the anticipation for next?
Yeah, the team, they are back. I mean, they will be allowed a bit of time to reflect over their success. I mean, to try and see where they need to improve, to try and see, I mean, some of the things that have worked so perfectly for them, and from there they can go into proper preparations, proper planning ahead of the 2021 Africa Under-20 Championship, which is going to be played in Mauritania. You know, the team will prepare, they will start their preparations. The coach was here on Multisport yesterday. I mean, he was talking about a lot of things that, I mean, he is so proud that the team are successful.
Yeah, he's so proud of the team.
And you know, especially the comeback, the bounce back after that win, because that was the turning point of their entire
Honestly,
campaign.
when the Waffle was on, they were in Senegal. A lot of people were not even talking about it. The 5-1 win was also another thing. People decided to put in the carpet. But when the win came, my goodness.
You can see the posts on the Twitter, I mean, the social media site, Instagram, Facebook. Everyone was like, I mean, that is the beauty. Victory is always sweet in football.
They
I mean,
deserve this, you know, always losing against Senegal. So this time around, I think it needs a celebration. We need to celebrate.
A big one, because Gambia has been more successful at youth level than Senegal. I mean, when it comes to, let's say, at senior category, Senegal have been at the World Cup. They played the World Cup. They played the African Cup of Nations, unlike Gambia. But at youth level, they are more successful than many of the African Cup of countries.
Very well. We'll leave it at that, Famara. It's been great having you here, talk to us. I mean, improvising for more. I mean, he should have been here and made this even more interesting from their own level at the GFF. But as always, correspondent, it's great to have you. And Farmer is the producer and the director of course, the Thursday edition of the AM show. But it's been great having you. Stick time to us, Kari. We've come to the end of the time.
Well, we now draw down the curtains here, but thank you for joining us and do enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a good day.
Yeah, for now.